nation of America for going on 30 years, starting with our apostles, man. All right? And coming into us newer brothers coming into the faith. All right? We've been knowing about that. But now we can see that it's evident. We see the tensions building. We see that nuclear warfare is right at the door, man. Okay? In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek the Lord their power. And that's what we're doing right now. We're seeking the Lord our power. We're seeking Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right? All right? And we're basically begging him in order to forgive us. And we're coming out here and showing ourselves as a living sacrifice, man. All right? And with that, we might be saved, man. We might be delivered from that coming destruction. All right? Because the ones of our people who are not meant to, who don't adhere to this truth, and that's going to be destroyed. Whether it's by the race riots, whether it's by the famine, all right? Whether it's by the troops, whether it's by the civil war, whatever, man. Their neighbor, whatever the destruction is, a beast, okay? A natural disaster, whatever it is, man. If you're not of the elect, you're going to be destroyed, okay? If you're of the nation of Israel, all right? The rest of these heathen, a majority of them are going to be destroyed as well. But the rest of them that's left over are going to be left to be slaves, man. All right, under us, okay? Because that's what the kingdom of heaven consists of, man. It consists of the nation of Israel ruling the heathen, man. All right? Matter of fact, let me get second Ezra real quick. Second Ezra 14 and 15. This is 2nd Ezra 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, all right, the sea ariseth up with the waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. And the reason the earth is going to be quaking is because of those nuclear missiles, man. All right, those nuclear missiles are going to hit ground zero. All right, we're talking. The prophecy says what? Can't remember the exact number, but we're talking about millions of missiles, man. All right, 200 million, I believe it is. All right, that's going to hit the land of America alone. So the earth is going to basically, man, that earthquake is going to be crazy, man. All right, it's going to be past 20, man. It's going to be past 80, man. I don't know what that's going to be. It's going to be a crazy earthquake. Okay. But a lot of people are going to die around the world just from that earthquake alone. There's going to be a lot of people dying from that, man. All right? Around the whole earth, man. Everywhere. Because the earth is going to quake. It's not just going to be one region. Usually when you get an earthquake, man, you get an earthquake in a particular region, man. Whether it's Japan, whether it's America, or not even America. We'd say like Texas, you know, a certain city in Japan, a certain place in wherever, man. Wherever around the world, it's usually just one city. But this earthquake is going to be the whole entire earth. All right. The reason that's going to be is because of those nuclear missiles. All right. They're going to hit ground zero in America. All right. 200 million missiles. That's part of the prophecy, and it's going to destroy that whole land, and the earth is going to quake to and fro. Okay. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. All right, and the bow represents the nuclear silo. Okay. His arrows, which represent the nuclear missile, the nuclear missiles are known as the arrows, man. And when a nuclear missile is shot down, they actually say in the army, they say there's a broken arrow. Okay, it shows you that spiritual. Okay. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begun to be shot into the ends of the world. And that's the key point, man. It said that they're going to be shot at the ends of the world. All right? You can't shoot a regular arrow from here to another continent. Man. That's impossible, man. Okay? That's because it's not talking about an actual arrow. It's actually talking about nuclear missiles. Okay? It's talking about those nuclear missiles coming from Russia, those nuclear missiles coming from Germany, from Ethiopia, from wherever they have nuclear power. That's going to come on this side of the earth, man. All right? Mainly targeting America. That's what it's talking about, man. And that's why the earth is going to be quaking to and fro, man. Those one nuclear missile can destroy a whole city, man. So if you have 200 million, that's more than overkill, man. Okay? That's the fact that's going to cause the whole earth to shake shows you the power within that, man. All right? Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out. And that's talking about the nuclear missiles, man. That's the fire that's talking about. All right? Till it consume the foundations of the earth, man. And it's going to consume the foundation of the earth. All right? Mainly the land of America. There's going to be two lands that are going to be utterly destroyed. Right? The two lands that are going to be utterly destroyed is first and foremost America, which is not going to ever be inhabited again. All right? But also the land of Israel is going to be destroyed, right, with the nuclear missiles, but it's going to be destroyed to be cleansed. All right? And then the Israelites, us, we're going to go back in there and live in that land again, man. All right? After that nuclear missile purifies that place. Because the best purifying agent is fire. All right? And that's why it's going to be hit with those nuclear missiles. Matter of fact, that's in Jeremiah the 49th chapter. All right. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 20. Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely, which the least of the flock is talking about those Amalekites, not those so-called Jews. Right, those Israelis, all right? They would be considered the least of the flock of the nation of Israel, all right? And they're saying the least of the flock is going to draw them out, which means they're going to bring them to war. Because who does America follow after? They follow after whatever the Jewish people, whatever the Israelis say, right? Whenever conflict they're in, America's going to be part of it, okay? So that's what it means, right? When it says that he shall bring them out. All right? Because if America's in that conflict, then that means that the NATO and the EU is also in that conflict. And that's what's going to cause a world war. Okay? That's why it's going to be a world war. Because it's a domino effect, man. All right? If you mess with, if the Israelis go to war, then that means the Americans go to war. And if the Americans go to war, that means that NATO goes to war. Okay? Which is the beast. All right. So if they all go to war, that means Russia's going to go to war because they're fighting against a country that's backed by Russia. Okay, and all his allies are going to go to war, and that's what creates a world war. And that's what it's going to be. That's why it says the least of the flock shall draw them out. Man, let me read that again. All right. This is Jeremiah 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, which means they're going to bring them to war. All right. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Because like I said, there's two different countries who are going to be completely destroyed. All right? And that's the state of Israel, which is really a state. It's not really considered a country. All right? But the state of Israel and also the America. All right? Those are the two places that are going to be completely destroyed in this world war. All right? But the only difference is that the land of Israel is going to be inhabited again by us. Okay, we're gonna be back in that land. Okay, but before we get back into that land has to be purified from all the filth that's in it currently, man. All right, because those Amalekites, you know, they're the filthiest nation on the planet, man. All right, they're out there having the biggest gay parade, you know, circumcising kids and sucking the blood off of their mouth, the rabbis, so to speak, so-called rabbis. All right, so that land has to be cleansed, man. All right, and not to mention the blood, all right, because there's a lot of blood up as well, man. Those so-called Jews, man, they're killing the Palestinians left and right in cold blood, all right. So that place has to be cleansed, man. And that's the only way we're going to be able to inhabit that place. Matter of fact, let me get our Numbers 30, 35, and 33 to show you that before we get into that land, it has to be cleansed because it's polluted, all right. This is Numbers verse 35 and verse 33, okay? This is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land. All right? And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And that's why they have to be wiped out of that land. Number one, all right, because there's a lot of blood that was shed in that land. Okay,